Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with Casey and Daniel from Hinayana. How are you guys doing?
Good. How's it going, man?
Good, good. By the way, I forgot to mention, Death of the Cosmic, out August 28th on Napalm Records, the brand new EP. How excited are you guys to see this bad boy getting out there so all the fans can listen to it?
Oh, we're super excited. I mean, we sat on it for quite a while, and so now it's pretty awesome to be able to finally get it out there. And through Napalm Records, even better.
How did that relationship come about? How did you guys approach the label, or did the label approach you guys? How did this partnership come to be?
Yeah, so they actually reached out to us, and we're not entirely sure about how they discovered us.
Yeah, that's what we've been wondering.
Yeah, we think it might have had something to do with our collaboration with Nature on this, and so they may have seen that, but they reached out to us, and yeah, they reached out to us right at the end of when we were recording the EP.
This was actually the day after Nature recorded his parts for Cold Conception. The very next day, because he did a post. And the very next day, it was actually April 11th. I still remember the day. And yeah, it's when
it was right after that
we got contact. So we don't know how, but I'm like, most likely it was probably Nature's doing.
Listen, if I find out that they watched one of your videos on my channel, I want some royalties from this. I'm coming collecting. You know what I mean? I'm going to come and collect some royalties.
You guys are too great.
Yeah, we love the videos too. Like, I still watch them all the time. Like,
hey, whatever we can do to help bands like yours and to help you guys out, we're always happy to do so. You guys were a great discovery for us when you guys reached out to us and asked us to check out one of your videos. And I believe I coined the whole term desert metal. So that like, from now on, you can use it royalty free, because you guys are good people, so you can use it royalty free. But it was great discovering you guys, and I'm really excited. I'm really happy for you guys being now with a big label, because I think more people are going to get to know the band and going to get to listen to your music.
Oh yeah, man!
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's exciting.
Now, why an EP and not a full-length album?
I guess I'll explain a little bit about the process behind what we were thinking. I guess we actually, so I mentioned earlier that Napalm had contacted us at the end sort of the recording process of the EP. And the reason we did the EP in the first place was actually, it was supposed to kind of be just kind of, I guess, an exploration or just our attempt to sort of have a stepping stone between releases. It was kind of going to be a tool for us to grow our sound and kind of evolve the sound of the band, without committing to an entire album. And it was never supposed to be as big of a thing as it became, but sort of, as we kept going through the writing process and recording process, we realized, especially with the collaborations, that this was something special. And so we put a lot of time and effort into it. And, but yeah, it wasn't exactly supposed to be as crazy of this thing as it kind of became.
That explains it, and it also explains a little bit of what I felt listening to it, because I felt like you guys have an EP here, but at the same time, the structure of the EP feels more like a full-length album in terms of how you go from song to song, the track listing that you guys decide to put together for this release. So it has a lot of the same mechanisms, having the instrumental track in the middle. All of these things are things that you normally see in a full-length release. So there was a lot of full-length release items or elements, if you will, on an EP.
Hell yeah, yeah. I would say that was kind of the goal behind that, is we wanted it to still have some sort of structure so that it was not this little blip, on everyone's radar, that it was actually just kind of, it felt more like that, felt longer than just the 20-something minutes that it is.
Almost like a nice little preview of the direction we're heading for our next.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt that way to me, and I really enjoyed it, because one of the things listening to it is it didn't just feel like a collection of 5 or 6 tracks that you guys just threw in together, and it's like, okay, here's an EP, like some random tracks that we've been working on. It felt like it had a lot more thought process behind it, because it felt like there was also an evolution with every single song. I don't know in which order you guys created the songs, and we can go more into detail about the tracks. but listening to it, I felt like the record got more mature. The sound got better. The record got better. The songs got better with every single track. There was definitely an evolution from the first to the last. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say so. And sort of all the songs kind of, the way that the writing process sort of works, it doesn't necessarily work this way like intentionally, but all the songs kind of seem to develop like at the same time. They like grow like plants. They all slowly reach that point, and then they kind of right at the very end they all kind of come together. But definitely certain ideas were started before others. But yeah, I would say that's pretty spot on.
What has changed for you guys as far as the band and yourselves as musicians, from Order Divine all the way to Death of the Cosmic? What has triggered your way of looking at music, how you create music, and how you approach future releases?
Yeah, so I know that me personally, I think that just I've been so impressed with some of the stuff that's come out since then. It really has inspired me, honestly. There's just a lot of inspiration, a lot of new inspiration ideas, and thinking, well, now I want to do this. Well, now I want to do that. I know he's felt the same way too. Let's take it in this direction or that direction. So yeah, I think that the writing process has become, personally, I think it's become a lot more detail oriented. And there's always the bigger picture element to songwriting. I feel like, especially when you're talking about, like doing more work with Daniel on the drum parts and stuff like that, and even just the other guys like, our guitar player Eric on his solos and things like that. There's so much more detail that's gone into the EP than even just the last album.
Yeah, it definitely shows on the quality of the tracks. Because I felt, not to say that Order Divine wasn't divine, because it was a great record, but when you listen to this EP and you look back, what a change. Like, you guys have grown by leaps and bounds from one to the other.
Oh yeah.
Not just from the song's perspective, but even from everything that goes around it. The mixing is improved, everything. The whole production value of this EP is just 5 stars.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
That was something we really wanted to accomplish too, is because like there were things we obviously had, to work with on a tighter budget on the last album, and I guess there are things we wanted to do different production wise, and we look back on it, we're like, well, we really should have done this, we really should have done that, and this time we were able to do those things. We upgraded everything, all the stuff that we did ourselves, we self-produced, all of those parts. Everything, all the equipment had been upgraded since then. We're using better tools now, and we dropped a bit more money on it too.
Yeah, but we really paid attention to a lot of the details, and especially with like a lot of the input we've received from fans.
Yes.
Since Order Divine came out, and but it's exciting because what I appreciate, because I'm not writing. This is the core Hinayana sound right here. But like, what's great is Casey really takes his time on everything he writes, which is like the most important thing to me, at least, is like to not stray from our sound. I don't like it when bands do that, like they'll release and they'll want to do something different and new, which is always great. But it's like we always talk about how like careful you have to be when you're improving the sound or changing things around, improving the sound or changing things around.
No, you want to evolve, but
keeping it natural, but still building appropriately on top of
it. Stay true to the initial vision of the band, and not veer off into an avant-garde direction.
Yeah.
I think it's important to keep that signature sound, and at least, I mean, not to say that down the road you guys can release an EP where you experiment a little bit, or do different things, or have maybe a song on a full-length album where you go a little bit, like Eskimo Callboy kind of thing. But you know what I mean? But I think it's important for a band that's trying to establish themselves to have that signature sound, that the moment you listen to the first note, you know who you're listening to. Like, people will associate that vibe, that sound with that specific band. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I would say so. And that's sort of what we try to do. That's another sort of, I guess, something we tried to attempt with the EP, was like, all right, let's further carve out this unique sound. Let's further, like, do that, get the sound to the point where, like, someone listens to it and they hear Hinayana, not X, Y, and Z.
Well, and to note on that, while pretty much keeping, like, I know when me and Casey were talking about, originally we were going to do like the 3 or 4 song EP, and we're like, oh, let's do 5. We convinced each other to convince the band, all right, let's do a 5 song. And then of course the song we did from the first Black Noise.
Yeah.
But the great thing was, the main thing I really wanted about this EP is the most diverse of Hinayana sound, and it was really exciting.
More dynamic.
Yeah, definitely more dynamic.
So I was really happy with how it came out.
I was really happy to see that you guys didn't just throw in some like live tracks, and a lot of people fill in their EPs with a couple of live tracks, and I'm not passing judgment, but I kind of want to listen to some new stuff. So it was nice that there were no fillers on the EP. You guys just put a lot of great and new material out there.
Yeah, I'm really a fan personally of just new stuff, because I think that, like you said, again, like nothing against any of that stuff, but I'm more of a fan when I get to hear some bands' new songs, new songs that can inspire me and, make me feel something new. So that's what we really wanted to do.
Before we talk about the tracks, I have one more question for you, and perhaps this one is more for Casey because it's about the vocals.
Yes.
And the question that I had when I was listening to the EP, I felt that on the mix, your vocals were a little bit, not hidden, but they're not in the forefront necessarily of the tracks. They're a little bit mixed in with everything else. It creates a nice atmosphere. It creates a nice ambiance. And when I was listening to it, and I already recorded my review, I haven't shared with you guys, I haven't posted yet, but when it's out and you guys will be able to confirm that what I'm saying here is exactly what I said on the EP is, I'm not sure what your thought process was. So if the goal was to sound like that, then, kudos to you guys, you achieved it. But what were you guys trying to do? Because I felt that I kind of wanted it personally. I wanted the vocals a little bit more on the forefront, to have a little bit more power on the forefront and not to be as hidden by everything else, because the record and the songs have so many layers.
Yeah, and so you're talking about the EP, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess you could say what we're trying to do, and you might have noticed, it sounds, I think the vocals are a bit higher than we had on, for instance, Order Divine. Yeah, and that was something we wanted to do. However, these songs are a lot more busy than the songs on Order Divine. And so we're still learning, in some ways, we're still learning about, what we should and shouldn't do regarding, the mixing and stuff like that. It's a learning process. And I think that trying to find for us the right balance between having the vocals be overwhelming and kind of drown everything out, and having them sort of play as another kind of instrument in the band, that's a tough balance, and I think we're still getting there, But I think the thought process was just we wanted them to be a lot more intelligible and better than the vocals on Order Divine, and hopefully we were able to do that. More pronounced. Yeah.
No, I did your vocals all on one day.
I actually we went to mix, and then in the studio I listened to the vocals for the EP, and I was like, nah. And I went that very week, and then the weekend between Friday and then the following Monday or something. I went and re-recorded all the vocal tracks.
Yeah, that's right. It was like 2 days or something.
Yeah,
I re-recorded them all.
I was just like, no, we got to redo this. Yep, got to redo it.
But they're more pronounced than because that's the thing about Order Divine. It's a little harder to understand the words and stuff, so they're a little bit more pronounced, a little higher on this one.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys. There's definitely a change, and in my opinion, there's an improvement there. I just still felt that some of the songs on this EP, I just wanted the vocal. I'm not saying overshadowing everything, because I don't want that either. It's a fine balance, right? It's like really hard to reach that point where you're not overshadowing everything, but at the same time you're not disappearing within the mix, because like I said, the tracks are really busy. They have a lot of layers to it. So it's kind of hard to kind of find the right place for everything. So that was the thought process that I had listening to it, but I just want to hear from you guys, since you guys are the creators, masterminds.
Yeah, and I think as we go on, again, this being just an EP, and I was saying, this is kind of just like, I guess it was sort of an exploration for us into improving the band's sound. I think we'll probably hit it right on the money as we go on.
It's like every album is like, how can we improve? Yeah. How can we change it where it's more appealing? Because there's even me being honest, Order Divine, I wasn't happy with the volume of the drums or the vocals. I wish they were louder.
Yeah, same here.
and I even, there's parts on this album I felt that way with the vocals, like what you're saying. The drums I was definitely happier because they were a little louder on this one. But
it's tough though when you're working on a budget like we were, and again we paid. This was an EP that this was out of our own pocket, So this was not funded by anybody else. So it's hard when you're working on that kind of budget to be able to pay for that extra studio time to go make those big changes and stuff,
Yeah, Daniel spends all his income on cooking lessons. It's kind of hard for you guys to have any disposable income.
Damn, lobster tail and stuff.
Yeah. You should just stop at Walmart and then we'll be the biggest band.
Exactly. Just buy frozen meals, dude. Come on, save some money.
I need some seafood endorsements.
So let's get into the tracks of this EP, starting off with Death of Cosmic. Two things. I love the atmosphere on that track, and I love the drums on that track. Absolutely. Those two elements to me are the two. I mean, there's other things happening on that track, but to me, those two elements, the heaviness of the drums and the atmosphere overall that you guys created with that song is absolutely phenomenal. How was the creation process behind Death of Cosmic?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you. I'm glad you like it. That we kind of wanted that song to be, at least this is how I felt, was I wanted that song to sort of be more dynamic than any of the stuff we've had. And there was a song on Order Divine, that Return to Nothing, that song sort of, I think we realized based on just people's reactions to that one and sort of the vibe that one had going, we want to do more of that sort of thing. And we wanted that to be the most dynamic track, or one of the most dynamic tracks on the EP. And it actually started with just, I think I stumbled upon like the chorus. I think I was playing and I was like, all right, well, and so then from there it kind of became a little bit more elaborated on with the verses and everything like that. And it sort of came together with some of those drum parts. That was what really, when me and him started meeting up for the drums and stuff, that was when I think the song really came alive,
Oh, that was another thing when we were in the studio. Most of the fills, I was like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And I was still in the process because, I'm a huge fan of Jonas, his drumming from Wolfheart, and then also, both Daniels from Catatonia. So I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so inspired by this, so I was like, I want to go in more of a direction as Odd Time Signature, like fun, things. And so it's cool to be doing a little bit, learning more as a drummer and having fun. But it was funny because when we were in the studio, we were literally I was writing them as we were recording new fills, and which happens often with bands, I know. But
so that's
it's always exciting.
That's how you get the best stuff, is
more natural
that way. Yeah. But yeah, that song, we really wanted it to be sort of this mix between it's more like uplifting and airy, and more kind of got some more beautiful sounds to it, along with the heavier parts than some of the other songs on the EP.
The next one on the list is Cold Conception. Two things from my end. One is I felt a lot of Wolfheart influences on the structure of this track. A lot. I'm not saying you guys took something from Wolfheart and made it yours, but you could totally feel the influences that Wolfheart has had on your band in this song, because I could feel the way the progression of the track, the structure of the track had a lot of Wolfheart style elements into it. And then obviously you have nature on it as well. So that's like an incredible thing to have, and to be able to still listen to some of his work now, and for you guys to have been able to still have a chance to record something with him, I'm sure that was a huge treat. So can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes of how that process was, reaching out to him, recording with him, and am I right about the Wolfheart influences?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say, yeah, we wanted, obviously what we do is not exactly the same, but we wanted to sort of bring in that, I guess we were inspired by the sheer aggression and ferocity of like a band like Wolfheart. We wanted to add a little bit of that flavor in there. So I'm glad you noticed. Him being especially inspired by the drummer. So that was pretty cool. So yes, I would say you're correct in that. And we wanted that one to be a little more fierce and I guess a little more angry, pissed off sounding song. So we had
so atmospheric too.
Yeah,
the
atmosphere of the track has that whole like nature vibe, and it has a very unique style sound that really enhances the atmosphere of the song.
Oh,
That dark vastness, vacity. I don't even think vacity. I don't even know if that's a word, but Vaseline is. But yeah, no. Anyways, yeah, thank you. It's
as far as working with nature goes, yeah, we had met him. We actually met him online, though. I had known about Tenger Cavalry for quite a while, actually. I had listened to some of their stuff for some years before, and so we found out that he had moved from New York City to Austin. I mean, that was pretty cool, just seeing that we had some mutual friends. I guess we decided, okay, well, we reached out to him, and he seemed. What were you gonna say?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this was the cool thing. We were at a band practice, and we were all talking about, oh, it's really so cool to collaborate with nature, and so we'd all spoke about it. Yeah, that'd be cool. So I was like, all right, let's reach out to him. Well, I don't know if we got drunk that night after practice. I don't know, but 2 weeks go by and we forgot, we never reached out. And then he sends me an email saying, hey, love y'all's music. Like, we should hang out and get some drinks sometime. And I was like, well, how does that happen? Just like randomly. He didn't even know me. He just added me and sent me a random message. But that's how nature was. He made friends so quick. Yeah. And
super nice guy. I got to meet them when they were touring in North America for the release of their last album. And they actually crashed at my place during the Toronto stop. Yeah, so it was really cool to get to know him better as a person. And after that, after they left and as they continued the tour, we stayed really close friends. I stayed really close friends with him and all the guys in the band. And he was just a really loving, caring person that wore his heart on his sleeve. And for him, his world was really horses and music. When it all boils down to. And I saw some pictures that he posted with you guys having a drink like at a diner or something.
Yeah, it was. What were you gonna say?
I was like, oh, let me buy you a drink. He's like, no, it's fine. You just want water. I was like, it was funny. It was a great time. He was really, really funny too. He was cracking.
Did you guys toss some ideas back and forth on how he was going to be part of this song? Like, did you guys think about vocals, about like how did you guys iron out the detail of where you were going to use him?
So that was a discussion, I guess, that we, the two of us had mostly with me and Daniel, and I guess the rest of the band. We had really wanted to have him contribute in some way or another, and we were deciding between having his vocals or having him do some sort of throat singing, like the throat singing that he would do in Tenger Cavalry, or having him play his horsehead fiddle. And I don't even think I knew exactly what that instrument was called even back then. But we'd spoken with him about it, and we decided that some of the vocal stuff and I guess some of that stuff like the throat singing, that was more of a Tenger Cavalry thing. And we wanted to sort of just, I suppose that we thought that since that instrument was so beautiful, that would really shine on this particular track. And so we decided to go with that one. And when we asked him about it, he was super excited to work on it and to do it. And something that I've mentioned a couple times, I just think is really cool is that when we were working with him on the track and we were, me and him were specifically collaborating on this, I kind of had like a specific idea because I'm really methodic. I like to be methodic about songwriting. I had an idea of how I wanted these parts to go or sound. Again, I had never collaborated with him before this, and so I had an idea of how I wanted them to sound. But he had his own idea of kind of how he wanted these parts to sound, and so I heard him out, and I was like, wow. This sounds so much better than like what my idea of how they were gonna like. I was like my idea of like, okay, maybe we could put this there, and he just kind of was like, well, let me do my own thing, and it turned out so much better.
Yeah, a lot more natural.
It just goes to show, like just the caliber of musician that he is, and his command over that instrument, and just him knowing what to put where, and it was really cool to experience that.
And also when we were originally discussing collaborating with nature. We had spoke like about like possible vocals, but we're like, Maybe we can do that on another track because we actually really wanted to do vocals with them, but we felt it was more appropriate because the song was so busy as it is.
And there was so much stuff in that song.
Definitely in the future, we'll see if he wants to, come in on that with vocals on a.
That would have been a really
and then
great
the video too, like the dates that was crazy, man.
And it was really tough because we really wanted him to be in that music video. And what was really hard was the fact that we had these dates set to shoot his shots for the video, but the very week that we were going to be filming those, we found out that he had passed away.
We weren't hearing from him, and it was like, okay, what's going on? We didn't know what the heck was, and then we got the news, we saw that article. And,
my jaw dropped. Absolutely. I think it hit everybody here really freaking hard.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough period for everybody who knew him, and fans and musicians alike. It was really a difficult time. Moving on to brighter things, Yet Here I Wait Forever. This is the instrumental track that really breaks the EP into two. Why an instrumental track, and why an instrumental track that sounds like this?
Yeah, so this was sort of, I guess, my attempt at doing something. Again, this was all about doing stuff we hadn't done, and this was sort of about contrast. This was sort of about, again, like you said, it's the track that breaks the EP sort of in half, and I feel like it kind of needs that because all the songs have this level of intensity and sort of consistency to them with the loud guitars and intense, drums and stuff, and they're very loud tracks, and we wanted this sort of beautiful, peaceful track in the very middle. And sort of, if you look at the meaning of all the songs, this one's sort of like, just, I guess, it contrasts, right? Because all the songs sort of have this gloomy, sort of negative tone to them about, the overall meaning of the EP, which is sort of has to do with our own destruction of this world and this place that we live, And this Yet Here I Wait Forever is sort of kind of about finding the beauty in all, and just surrendering to all of that, and just being at peace with it. And so that's kind of why we decided to have this break in the middle. It was, again, dynamics is another big emphasis for us with the EP. And so I guess hopefully that explains that a little bit.
Next is In Sacred Delusion, featuring Tony Toivonen from Hanging Garden. How did this come about, this collaboration for this track and overall the track itself?
Yeah, so this track, again, this one was sort of, you can kind of tell as far as influences go, I feel like the main riff sort of comes from, this is sort of kind of, I don't know, I felt like it reminded me a little bit of Ghost Brigade, maybe something they would have done, that main riff. And then the big chorus was really the first thing that That's
really deep cuts, by the way.
What's that?
That's really deep cuts, bringing out Ghost Brigade.
Oh, I know.
We've been talking about them lately.
But yeah, as far as In Sacred Delusion goes, it started with that big chorus, and immediately, since we had already decided we were going to do some collaborations on this, like after we, I guess had heard that chorus, we're like, well, we gotta have someone do some awesome vocals over this. This is a perfect song for that. And yeah, through our searching, we were able to reach out, and both of us love Hanging Garden so much. I mean, they're a huge influence for me as a songwriter, and I know that you like them as well.
I'm always playing, like when I'm drumming on my own, I always love playing to their songs.
Their stuff
is my drum practice. It's so fun. Like their songs are so good.
Some of it can be so groovy, but also so gloomy and sorrowful. But yeah, so it was really cool whenever I reached out to him and he said he was excited. He's like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like,
such a cool
oh my God,
too.
I've been listening to this band for so long, and they're a huge influence, and finally being able to collaborate with one of them, that was such a cool moment for me personally.
I think this is a time where we can tell everybody that you guys reached out to me first to do the vocals, but I wasn't available. So, I guess this is the time we can let the cat out of the bag, sort of say. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I was too busy. I couldn't do vocals for this.
Yeah,
maybe next time.
The next
All right.
album, man. We got to do it on the next one.
I'm making the next one. All right. The last, before we get to the last song, there's something I really want to touch upon here because the last track is Pitch Black Noise. Now, I felt that there was something here that was missed. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously you guys created the music, so you have a different vision of what you wanted out of it. But In Sacred Delusion finishes off with that acoustic guitar, like it's just absolutely beautiful. And then Pitch Black Noise starts off with acoustic guitar, but the two are not necessarily intertwined together. There's definitely a break there. Why didn't you guys connect those two tracks almost musically? So like as one ends,
Yes.
the other one picks up like immediately off of that. Because I thought it was almost like a missed opportunity because it was just perfect. Like everything was aligned.
Yeah. Well, and so hopefully I can explain that a little bit. You might already be aware, but that was actually the song Pitch Black Noise was actually the second song I ever wrote for the band. So this is from the first demo that we had made, and we weren't actually going to put it on the EP initially, but it became as we kept going as a band, it sort of became one of our favorite songs to play live. And so it really became more about just sort of doing that song justice. You know what I'm saying? Like let's play it on this EP like we do it live. You know, like there's more intensity. Let's see, play a little bit faster than the original demo track. The drums are different. The guitar parts are just slightly different. The vocals I do them more intense live than we had them on the demo, the original demo back in 2014. So yeah, it's a little bit older of a song, and maybe you're right. Maybe there was a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but I think that had it been maybe an original song, maybe that would have clicked a little bit easier. Maybe that would have been more of a linear progression. But this was sort of trying to fit this old song, that we had played a million times. Again, we're used to hearing it like a certain way. So for us, it was just like, oh yeah, this fits right here. So again, yeah, maybe you have a point, but that was sort of our take on it.
Yeah, no, and at the end of the day, like that's why I'm asking you. I'm not saying like who's right and who's wrong. It's just when it comes to art, right? Like
it's also
even though you guys are wrong and I'm right, but
yeah.
we're not judging. We're not judging.
Oh,
We're just having a conversation. I just felt that those two songs, from an atmospheric perspective, there was a lot of things in common. And then the way one ended and the other one started, it would have been such a perfect progression to have them completely almost merged together as one giant track, even though it's two songs, but it would have that bleeding effect from one track bleeding into the other. So I just thought that, wow, I can't believe they didn't do that. It was just right there, But I
maybe that's an idea for a live show, right?
Yeah, it is. You can always do it live.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the two songs you can always do it that way live. I absolutely love the drums on that Pitch Black Noise track. To me, it's perhaps one of the best songs on the EP as far as the drums are concerned. They're just powerful, heavy, but still knowing exactly when they have to come in and when they have to drop out so they don't overshadow everything else that's happening. So like pinpoint precision with the heaviness on the drums as far as that track is concerned. One of my favorites on the EP.
Oh wow, thank you so much. It was so funny because we've played that song like thousands of times, and so it was the last song I did the drums for when we were in the studio. So I was telling Kevin, our producer, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be quick. It's gonna be," and I just kept overthinking things. So what if I add this or what if I add that? And it took because I was having so much fun. I wanted to rewrite things all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, because there was a way we're used to, like I was saying, there's a way we're used to playing it live compared to how we had been listening to it just on the demo, and we really wanted to capture that. And so, but we also wanted to add some flair. What you think you did, and now we play it like that. From now on, I guess. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun recording, especially that track.
It was a ton of fun.
It was a learning experience for certain parts on the EP that I was like, I've never math-wise,
just
figuring the patterns and stuff, and I'm just last minute writing. I'm like, oh, I should have spent more time on this, but it's gonna take. But I eventually got it while we were recording. It was a fun experience.
So the EP is coming out around the corner, August 28th on Napalm Records. But this is my last question for you guys. This must be a little bit of bittersweet because you signed with a major label, you have an EP coming out at the end of the month, but now there's like no concerts, no tours, or very limited possibilities of doing concerts. Tours for sure, nothing is happening. So it must be bittersweet for you guys, because on one hand you have something to be really excited for and you're really proud of what you've done, but on the other hand you want to play the music to the fans, and there's very limited opportunities to do so. So how are you guys thinking of tackling that aspect of where you currently are and the situation that we're all in?
Yeah, so first of all, I think that this is going to take some patience, and we feel like we've already been put through a lot just waiting to release this, because we've been sitting on it for so long. So I would say at least we're excited about that. At least we're excited to finally get it out there. Even our dreams of being able to tour with this, are going to have to be, I guess, put on hold for right this second. I do believe we will eventually, but again, I think it's just going to take some patience and
remaining positive.
Yeah, remaining positive about it, and just trying to be excited about the things we've got on our plate right now. And there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of songwriting to be done for future stuff too. So I guess we're trying to just sort of deal with it like that, and we're just, I guess it's positive. Like I don't know if you saw, but I'm sure you did. But like what was it, Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum, Swallow the Sun? They were to play a festival. What was it, over in Finland or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, just recently. So that sort of gives us a little bit of hope. I think things eventually will come to a point where we can play this live. But yeah, it is very weird. It is very weird, and it is sort of bittersweet. It's like, man, we have this material that we worked so hard on. We were trying to really want to play these shows and tour and stuff, but it's just not happening. It's so weird.
It was so nice to see Omnium Gatherum and Insomnium, right? They played.
Yeah, I think Swallow the Sun too. That's where
I didn't know that.
I think so. Yeah. It's all three of those bands.
But we're lucky because we get to practice every week, and we're writing new stuff.
Yep.
And I like to.
There's some bands that don't get to practice every week still.
Oh,
some of the practice spaces in certain areas are still not opened up, but thankfully we have ours, so we're still meeting up and keeping the rust off.
And you guys are staying healthy and staying safe, so that's important as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And in Daniel's case, hydrated.
Oh yeah, I just got off work and I'm running around like a madman, and I do delivery, on the side. So I was just like, this is my 5th drink today and my 2nd one of these.
Jesus.
I'm like,
all right, holy crap.
Yeah, I've just been sweating, but I went into work at like 7 this morning, so I'm feeling good. I'm like hydrated and well.
I'm glad you took some time to sit down with me and Casey, to talk about the EP. This has been an absolute pleasure to sit down with you guys. It was a long time overdue. I was waiting for you guys to release something so that we can have a chat. And
it was really cool talking to you too, man.
Yeah,
it's finally, oh my God.
Painter, oh my God.
Yeah, it's nice to finally be able to chat about music and not worry about all the other craziness that's happening, and see you guys and talk to you guys was an absolute pleasure. So thank you very much for your time today, and best of luck with the release on August 28th. Once again, go check these guys out. Napalm Records is releasing their it's your debut EP with the label, Death is Cosmic. Go pick it up. Don't illegally download it. Support these dudes. Daniel needs Meals on Wheels, and he needs so go help them out. Pick up the EP, and if you're and if people are feeling kind and generous, go pick up Order Divine. So it never hurts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks
we
for having
really
us,
appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome.